Hello and welcome to Sports Select Sports Talk. I'm your host, Mitchell Clinton, and I'm not in the Hall of Fame. Lots of stuff going on at the Hall of Fame, though. I'll get to that in the Pat on the Back Club. Right now I'm at Brookland School here in Winnipeg, where the mobile mini soccer program is taking place right behind me. Those are all those little kids and mentors you see. The mentors come from the 5 different soccer regions here in Winnipeg, and the kids are between the ages of 4 to 8. And it's a program that comes to these 4 different areas in the city and brings soccer to them, brings all these drills. There's a snack involved, which is always music to my ears as well. Let's get the show going. We'll start with the opening kickoff. One of the big events coming up is the Players' Cup in July 15th to the 21st is tournament week. The tournament, of course, starts on the Thursday. For daily pass information or weekend pass information, you're going to want to go to theplayerscup.ca. And on the Monday, PGA Tour Canada professionals are going to be doing junior golf clinics, which is really cool. Once again, more info, theplayerscup.ca. Moving on to the Winnipeg Goldeyes, they have an 8-game homestand starting July 2nd. And we have the July 2nd game on Shaw TV, but hey, get down to the park, check it out. It's always better at the ballpark. You get to hear all the signals being called, you get to hear everything and experience Shaw Park. But those first 4 games are against St. Paul. The second 4 are against the Gary South Shore Railcats, and you know those 4 games against St. Paul are going to be big when it comes to deciding the North Division standings. So get down there. Goldeyes.com has more ticket information. And speaking of baseball, the Toronto Blue Jays camp that comes to Shaw Park every year is July 3rd to 5th. So you're going to want to get more information on that. That's at baseballmanitoba.ca. Now, as we move to the Pat on the Back Club, the Hall of Fame I mentioned has a lot of stuff going on. One of those is the induction dinner coming up November 2nd, and they recently announced who's going to be inducted, and here's a rundown of those. Faye Finch is going in the all-around category. John T. Haig from curling is going in as a builder. Dale Howarchuk, I don't even have to give background on that name, in the city of Winnipeg. He's going in as an athlete. Corey Koski, obviously a great career in the majors. He's going in as an athlete as well. Shannon Shakespeare, a little bit of a tongue twister for you, going in as a swimming athlete. Bill Wedlake, another big name when it comes to basketball here in the city. He's going in as a builder. Art Weirier is going in for table tennis in the all-around category. Moving on to the teams, 2 teams being inducted November 2nd. The 1936, 42, and 49 Ken Watson curling teams, and the 1983 to 1988 Carmen Goldeyes will be going in as a baseball team. Once again, November 2nd is the big day for the induction dinner. Tickets go on sale August 1st, August 1st. I got it. We're going to the Manitoba Hall of Fame.ca is where you can go to get ticket information. When we come back, Kim Davis of the Manitoba Junior Hockey League joins me on Sports Select Sports Talk.
Taxi!
When you can't do it all, do what you can. Compassion for others. Pass it on. A message from the Foundation for a Better Life.
Go ahead, ready?
I'm Forrest Whitaker for People for the Ethical Treatment of Animals, and this is my daughter, True.
Hi.
Life is full of choices. And many years ago, I chose to become a vegetarian, and it's one of the best choices I've ever made. And since True's dad was a vegetarian, she decided to be a vegetarian too. You may decide to go vegetarian for better health, for a better environment, or you can be like True and I and just decide you don't want to eat meat anymore.
I love animals and I love being a vegetarian.
I'm Forrest Whitaker.
And I'm True Whitaker, and
We're vegetarian.
And we're vegetarians.
3 years ago, I had a car accident. I suffered an incomplete spinal cord injury.
Was going to do a backflip snowboarding, and I landed straight upside down on my head, shattering my vertebrae in my neck.
Wheelchair basketball has opened up doors for me with national teams, possibilities for school abroad in the States.
I love the contact of the sport. I love the team playing. I would recommend Manitoba Wheelchair Sports to anyone. It's a lot of fun, and it's a good workout too.
Continuing Sports Select Sports Talk with the outdoor theme because it's just been beautiful here in Winnipeg. Kim Davis joins me now, the Commissioner of the Manitoba Junior Hockey League. And Kim, you still got the Western Canada Cup hat going on.
Yes.
I guess, how was the experience out in Nanaimo?
Well, it was great this year. First one, as you know, the inaugural championship with the new regional Junior A playoffs, and Nanaimo being the host of the initial one, and it was tremendous. Very well organized. There still needs work to be done in terms of getting people having a broader understanding of what it is. But for the first one, I think it went very well. It was well organized, fairly well attended. There's improvements that can be made there. But I think as the event grows and gets more recognition, it's just gonna grow. And we're really excited by it. The competition itself. With the 4 or 5 clubs there was really, really good, and I think any one of the teams could have went through, but obviously only 2 can go through. But that was we were very happy with it.
And obviously just a measure of just how good that competition was. Steinbach not able to advance through into the playoff round of it. So, and just how good Steinbach was during the Manitoba Junior Hockey League playoffs. And one last thing about that Western Canada Cup is in 2014, it's in Dauphin. Yes. So it's a little bit even closer to the MJHL, knowing that you're the host league, if you will. Yeah,
the second one will be in Dauphin, and we're really excited about that and their prospects for them hosting it. They've got a great track record of hosting events like this, and we'll have 2 teams in it this year, of course. The league champion and then the hosts in Dauphin, and they'll do a tremendous job. I'm very, very confident in that, and it'll really, as I said earlier, just enhance the profile of the event and the notoriety, and really make it something that's going to be on the minds of people in the West, across the West for that period of time, and so we're really looking forward to this year and the build up towards that.
Dauphin, of course, hosting the 2010 RBC Cup a couple of years ago, I guess a few years ago now, and of course the Safeway Championship not too long ago. So no stranger to hosting events like that. Kim, let's move to the annual general meeting that was not too long ago here. First thing, the MJHL Showcase, a big event on the calendar, October 3rd to 5th at MTS Iceplex. I'm sure you're happy to have that date all finalized.
Yeah, we are, and it's the 10th year of our showcase, and it's been a marquee event for us, and just provides a great opportunity for our players, and that's really what our league is all about, is providing opportunities for players to showcase their talents. And it's been well attended the last number of years by NHL teams, NCAA teams, Western Hockey League teams looking for players to advance. So again, we're really excited about it. It's a great venue there at the Iceplex. They have great amenities, and we're really looking forward to that event again this year.
Saw Claude Noel at last year's event. Obviously not much going on for him around that point of the year anyways. Things got crazy in the second half for him, but he was definitely at the showcase, so you can have a Claude Noel sighting as well as see some great hockey. Yeah. One of the other things that came out of the annual general meeting was a discipline committee. Why did you feel the need for that?
Well, it's just something that's evolved for our league. In the case of my tenure with the league, I just completed my 11th season, and as the league has evolved and gotten more sophisticated, and the challenges of junior A hockey have enhanced over those years. The area of discipline is one area where we felt that we would be better served by having an arm's length group look after that particular function. Presently, the commissioner, and for the last 10, 11 years, the commissioner has been responsible for putting together all the discipline for whatever incidents that occur. So now we'll have a group that'll be arm's length from the league. I'll ultimately still be responsible, but they'll be doing the work, the investigating, the analysis of videotapes and officials' reports and that sort of thing, and then coming up with the various suspensions and fines that will be levied to players and coaches whenever things occur. So it's just really an evolution of how our business has changed, and where we need more support and more assistance and more people looking at things. And I think that one of the positives about it is that having people with varied backgrounds but qualified will ultimately lead to having strong and good decisions that fans and players and teams can support.
And correct me if I'm wrong, but it's made up of a bunch of representatives from the teams in the league as well, so they're going to kind of have a little bit of input. They almost have to take off that cap, if you will.
Well, actually, no. That it's not going to be. It's going to be a group of people that don't have any affiliation with the league. So
makes sense.
Which is even you know, a stronger and more vital part of the committee itself. And you know, it'll just be, you know, people that certainly have an interest and are qualified, but don't have any interest at all with any clubs.
Okay. Yeah, like you said, I mean, that's perfect. That's probably the best way to go about it. You don't have anybody lobbying for their player.
Absolutely, yeah.
I guess the other thing to touch on just before we get to kind of the rest of the off season is the draft was held in Portage. How was that weekend? And obviously a lot of excited players that now know what the next step is going to be in their hockey career.
Well, you know, our draft has been something that I've been just so proud of over the last ever since we've had it. I'm just amazed at how prepared the teams are. You know, with not just the coaches and GMs, but the scouting staffs in particular. They just know so much about the players and what their qualities are and their characteristics, and they're just so well organized, prepared. And so professional in how they do the work, that's all the background work that needs to be done to be in a position to make decisions, you know, on players on draft day. So that was very much the case this year again. Just really well organized. You know, my role in it is to sort of, you know, control it and organize it, and that's, you know, fairly easy compared to the work that they do. But I was very impressed again with just the professionalism of the teams and the scouting staffs in our league.
The NHL draft, of course, coming up as we record this in a few days. I mean, it's going to be a quick turnaround. I mean, obviously, there's been some MJHL players that have been drafted, and I mean, the one that comes to my mind right away is Jason Kasdorf of the Winnipeg Jets. Picked him up, of course, a former Portage Terrier goaltender. I mean, it's not something that they're going to be predominant MJHL representation anyways in the draft, but there's always the thought, and of course, I mean, right now I'm thinking of Stojkovic for the Winnipeg Blues. He's getting a look.
Yeah, he is. He's getting a lot of interest from several teams, and you know, obviously, again on draft day, you know, things change depending on how teams select. But I think he's a player, from everything that I've heard, is very much in the mix, probably for a later round selection. And he's a tremendous young man and a real dedicated, you know, to what he's you know, his life is leading him to in hockey and in his case academics in the short term. But I think he's got a great opportunity and great potential to be a real solid NHL player if you know, if he puts in the work. You know, that's really what it boils down to.
Thanks for this, Kim.
Yeah, you're welcome. Thank you.
That's Kim Davis of the Manitoba Junior Hockey League. Of course, one of the big events that happened in Winnipeg in June was the UFC. Here's your week in review. UFC fans in Winnipeg didn't always need a cue like this one to get loud during the UFC's time in the city. Supporters came out in masses to everything from open workouts to weigh-ins, culminating with 14,754 fans packing MTS Center for UFC 161. It left an impact on Winnipeg fighter Roland Delorme when he walked into the octagon.
No, man, you know, I try to stay calm as much as possible. But at the same time, you know, it's hard. It's hard when you walk out into your hometown and everybody's screaming your name and, you know, the crowd's roaring, and that's a feeling I'm never going to forget. You know, if I never get it again, you know, it's something I'm never going to forget. And so that's something I take with me throughout the rest of my career and my life.
Delorme was one of 6 Canadian fighters that won their respective bouts on June 15th. Other winners were Yves Jabouin, Mitch Clark, Sean Pearson, Ryan Jimmo, and Alexis Davis. This was Davis's UFC debut, which was fitting because her first professional fight was in Winnipeg 3 years ago.
You know, it means a lot, especially it kind of seems like it came full circle. You know, obviously I started my career here, and, you know, this is a huge step in my career. And, you know, I'm glad it's in Canada because I always feel like I'm back home no matter where I am.
The Canadian hospitality was felt by all the fighters during their stay.
You know, we have a few things here and there, but, you know, everything's going great. I'm actually going to a friend's house, having like a home-cooked meal, which is kind of nice, and all that good stuff. But, you know, we've gone to a couple places, nothing crazy. I haven't gone too far, but it's been nice, been great. You know, the weather's been awesome. People have been great.
The hotel room's all right. I haven't really been outside the hotel much. I've been to Winnipeg a couple times before, and, you know, feel like it's a good town, spread out, but you know, I've had a good time here, except for The second time I came was in January, so I can't say I was outside much either.
It was great. Anytime we come to Canada, it's just such a great country, and everybody here is so nice, and every city is clean, and the hotels are. I love this country, just not in the winter.
The week's festivities began with open workouts at Portage Place. Fans had the opportunity to watch the fighters punch and kick pads with trainers. Then came media day and the weigh-ins. The fighters were smiling early in the week, but by Saturday night, the expressions changed, especially for Roy Big Country Nelson. The heavyweight fighter came in with a 20-7 record, but after taking a record 437 strikes, Big Country came out on the losing end against Stipe Miocic.
You know what? I'm just really disappointed. I just really wanted to give the fans, 110%. Today I just felt really lethargic. I don't know if it was just like the 2 weeks, or I peaked, early, or a couple weeks ago, or for my fight, back in April. So I just felt slow, lethargic. Nothing takes from Stipe. I just hopefully next time I'll have a little bit more time to prepare for whoever I'm fighting. And the one thing about the heavyweight division is you always got to watch every fight because anything can happen.
In the main event match that helped bring in $3.15 million in gate revenue, Rashad Evans picked up a potentially career-reviving win over Dan Henderson.
Coming off of 2 losses, it takes a little bit of hit on your confidence, and just trying to work back and mentally to get your game where you want to, get your timing down, believing in your shots, believing in your punches and stuff like that. This wasn't my best performance by far, but it's something to start from.
The other big winner on the night was Sam Krause. He was the only fighter to beat a Canadian when he forced opponent Sam Stout to tap out in the final round. Their fight was named Fight of the Night and had the submission of the night as well, giving Krause an extra $100,000 paycheck.
Yeah, I mean, it was just, it's part of the game plan. Really, we just wanted to go out and put good pressure at range at him, throw some crazy stuff, be exciting. I love to fight for the fans. I'm not out here to get the decisions and stuff like that. I want to go out and I want people to want to watch me, and I hope I accomplished that tonight. I think I did. But yeah, that was the plan. Just be unpredictable and really just pressure.
Now, one aspect of the UFC being in Winnipeg that you may not have seen is their behind-the-scenes work in the community through the UFC Community Works program. They've donated $20,000 to Motivate Canada's Gen 7 program, and as a part of that, 5 UFC fighters came to Elite Boxing MMA here in Winnipeg to teach a class that Dylan Blacksmith took part in. He's 18, and he was ecstatic, as you'll see.
Control the wrist. I'm going to come up underneath.
Oh, I'm thrilled. I never thought I'd meet a UFC fighter in my life, especially big names like this. I never even thought UFC would even come to Winnipeg, so this is really an awesome experience right now.
Blacksmith's experience began with a jiu-jitsu lesson from light heavyweight championship contender TJ Grant. A total of 5 fighters led members of the Gen 7 Aboriginal Role Model program through a workout at Winnipeg Elite Boxing and MMA Academy. Blacksmith was part of a crew of athletes who drove the 8 hours from Cross Lake, Manitoba to learn submissions and combinations. He says martial arts have made a difference in his life.
Just the fitness and everything, all around fitness and my personal well-being. I just find myself more kinder and more focused about anything like school, more focused with anything I do.
Along with the workout, a $20,000 donation was made to the Gen 7 program. UFC Director for Operations in Canada, Tom Wright, says workouts like these are fun for the athletes as well.
What it helps to demonstrate is it helps to break down some of the myths about mixed martial arts and some of the myths about our sport, that it's all about, 2 guys just trying to beat, the living bejesus out of each other. And it's not like that at all. These guys are professional athletes, they're trained well, they're extremely skilled, but there's a human side to them that you'd want to bring these guys home to spend some time with your daughters, and I would know that because I have 3 daughters.
Before becoming a women's bantamweight athlete in the UFC, Sarah Kaufman admits she was on the shy side growing up, but now she's all smiles, and mixed martial arts have given her that confidence.
I think for women and for the girls, it's hard for them because a lot of times, there's a lot of boys that are into the martial arts, that are into the kind of boxing and kickboxing, and so for them to be able to see another female who has gone into the sport and I'm not scary and I'm not mean and I'm not aggressive, and they know that it's good self-defense, but it's also such a great workout and so much fun. It's really empowering for them.
After getting covered in sweat in the gym, it was time for an autograph session. UFC welterweight Mike Pyle was impressed with what he saw.
These kids know what they were doing, man. I was hitting mitts with them. They were cracking them pretty hard. Any combo that I called out on the mitts, they knew how to do it, and they didn't look at me like, what do I do now? No, they did it, pop, 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 pop. So it was good, man. These guys are doing really good work with them, and I can tell by the way that they listen and by the way that they knew what they were doing. So they're doing an excellent job down here with these kids, for sure.
Blacksmith hopes this is a step toward a professional career on the mat. He's already taken his talents south of the border.
I actually boxed a couple times. I went to Kansas City this past summer, so it was the World Championship for amateur boxing, so that was a really great experience. I never thought I'd even go to a World Championship for anything, so it's pretty awesome.
My name's Colin McRae. This will be my 4th year, and my team is the Prostate Paddlers.
I'm Inga Skunberg, and I've been with the team since the conception.
The humor on this subject works. Guys don't want to talk about it. No. They pretend it doesn't happen, and guys go, hey, they'll listen to you then. You're funny.
For cancer, we've raised over $5,000 in the last 3 years. That's all through sponsorship or fundraising.
When I first joined the team, the numbers were 1 in 8 men get prostate cancer. That number has been revised now. It's 1 in 6. I don't like those odds, and I feel I want to do something about it. I may be paying it forward. How do I know I'm not going to be that one?
My father was diagnosed with prostate cancer, and that was very devastating. It affects not only the men, but it affects the women that love them. Love to drag and boat and love these guys, and we're a great fun team.
Oh, what a beautiful world, what a beautiful world this world could be.
I know someone.
I know someone.
We know someone.
Can you think of someone you would consider an advocate for multiculturalism and for integrating cultural communities and new Canadians? Nominate them, and $20,000 will go to an eligible not-for-profit organization of the winner's choice. Do you know someone? For more information about the Paul Usick Award for Multiculturalism, please visit our website. A message from the Government of Canada.
Helping. Pass it on.
Oh, thank you.
You're welcome.
What a nice young man. My goodness.
Welcome back to the final segment of Sports Select Sports Talk. I'm your host, Mitchell Clinton, once again for Brookline School and the Manitoba Mini Soccer Program, which brings kids between the ages of 4 and 8 to 4 different places in the city, and volunteers from the 5 different soccer regions here in the city. They come out, as you can see, do a bunch of drills and take the kids through, teach them some soccer skills, and these kids wouldn't have access to these kinds of programs without all the help. And if you were watching Shaw TV Sports, we had a nice little story on it, and I think throughout the summer we're going to have to come and check it out once again, because it's just great to be around a lot of good news stories happening in the city. Getting to the tweet of the week. And this tweet actually comes from my sister, of all people. So, you talk to me as a sports reporter, I can get your tweet on the air. If you want to get your tweet on the air, go to @mclinton007 and say anything you want about what's going on in the world of sports. But this actually comes from UFC week, and what she says is, and there's @mclinton007 sticking out like a sore thumb at Dana White's press conference. Here's the photographic evidence. That was one of the craziest scrums I have ever been a part of in my entire life. And of course, I wore a bright blue shirt that day, and if it looks like I'm in pain, it's because I am. That scrum has been going on for a while, and I believe the photo was from the Winnipeg Free Press and kind of captured just the amount of media surrounding Dana White during that scrum. Russ Hobson from our friends over at Global is right beside me, and both of our arms were at full extension for a long time, we'll say. It was a long time. So great photo. Once again, if you want to tweet at me and get your tweet on the tweet of the week, at mclinton007. Once again, not a James Bond reference. Moving on to my minute of fame, and the U.S. Open wrapped up at Marion not too long ago on the PGA Tour, and everyone's saying, is Tiger Woods ever going to win a major again? He hasn't won one in 5 years since the U.S. Open that he won on basically one leg. I say yes, he's going to win one again. I don't think it's going to be this year. If he does, I'm going to guess it's the PGA Championship, but I think it's going to be next year. And then I think once he gets that first major out of the way, I think he'll be on to better things. I don't know. Now, will he break Jack Nicklaus's record? That's the big one. I've always been an optimist. I think he will, but man, is it going to be tough. And speaking of golf, let's go to a profile on Bryce Barr to wrap up the show. It's not uncommon to see Bryce Barr on the driving range at Southwood Golf and Country Club. As a member of the Manitoba Bison's golf team, this is his home course. What may be uncommon to some golfers, though, is the fact Barr never wears a golf glove.
My dad never wore a glove, and kind of never really thought about it until maybe I started competing and saw other guys always wearing gloves, like everybody always had one on. And at that point, it was kind of like, well, why would I even bother? They told me it was to grip the club better, but I felt like my grip was okay, so I just didn't really think that it was that important.
Barr learned to swing a club at 7 years old in a field behind his home with his dad. But it wasn't until he was 15 that he thought about rolling putts into a hole as more than a hobby.
The Manitoba Junior was at Southwood when I was 15, and the pro here, Tom Kinsman, kind of encouraged me to play in it, and just tried it out and had a decent tournament and thought that it was something that I kind of wanted to keep doing.
From 16 to 18 years of age, Barr played on the Golf Manitoba Junior Development Team, where he met Garth Goodbranson, the Golf Manitoba Director for Player Development. Goodbranson liked what he saw in the young Barr's game and quickly recruited him to the University of Manitoba.
There you go. The one thing I always respect about Bryce, he knew what he wanted at a young age. He knew he didn't necessarily want to go to the U.S. He wanted to be in Canada. We spoke about it earlier, to play at the U of M, so it was just a given that once he finished high school, he'd come play at the U of M, and we're very fortunate to have him on our team.
Barr chipped in to help the Bisons win 4 consecutive tournaments in 2012, but his accomplishments off the course are just as impressive. Barr has received scholarships from Golf Manitoba and was recently admitted to the Faculty of Medicine at the University of Manitoba as well. The balance between his book bag and golf bag led to success with both, but he admits a favorable schedule helps.
For us, luckily, we're not traveling during the winter, so it's not exactly like other sports in that respect. We only travel until kind of Thanksgiving weekend, and then after that, we're pretty much in the golf dome and just kind of grinding it out until the season starts again. And so for me, that's kind of fortunate, because during exams, I don't really have that distraction of being on the road and being able to play in tournaments and that kind of thing.
One of the things that we always wanted to do at the U of M is we wanted the players to be good role models for younger people. And I think, a lot of the players, we had some terrific players over the years that were very good students. They were excellent golfers, but they learned the balance of school and sport, and I think that's great.
The year 2014 will be Bryce Barr's final year of eligibility with the University of Manitoba, and it's going to be an exciting year for him and the University of Manitoba Bison's golf team. The reason for that is the 2014 Canadian University and College Championships will be held at the team's home course here at Southwood, and Barr says it's going to be a lot of home course advantage for that team because a lot of the players from the West aren't used to the amount of wind that comes through Southwood Golf Course.
100 years and still there's more to discover in our national parks and historic sites. It's time to celebrate. It's Manitoba time. From classic to contemporary, there's arts and culture in every corner of our province. It's time to stir your spirit and soothe your soul. It's Manitoba time.
I'm a member. I'm a member. I'm a member. I'm a member.
These mothers belong to a very exclusive club because their children suffered the ravages of meningococcal meningitis, a rare disease so powerful that in some cases it can take a life. But with vaccinations, some strains of meningitis may be preventable. Go to our website and get the facts. It's information that could help to save your child's life.
And you might not become a member of the club that has the highest dues.